A very good afternoon everyone. I really hope you all doing great and staying absolutely safe as well. उम्मीद करता हूँ आप सब बहुत शानदार होंगे बेटे. Would like to welcome you all to the session and I am hopeful that you all are getting all the enriching content on regular basis on this platform of IAS Origin. IAS Origin के platform पे आप जो भी content आपको provide किया जा रहा है उसको ना सिर्फ आप कंज्यूम कर रहे हो बल्कि आप उससे भरपूर जो फायदा है, जो भरपूर बेनिफिट लेना चाहिए वो आप जरूर से जरूर ले पा रहे हो, ऐसी मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ. आई रियली होप दैट. सो all the people who have joined in the session, please do let me know in the comment section. सब लोग मुझे कमेंट करके जरूर बता दें अगर आप सब मुझे क्लियरली यहाँ सुन पा रहे हैं तो. ठीक है. Now what makes this session so much important, let me tell you, what is there in the session. First of all, let me tell you that we already conducted a session which was based on revolts, but that was the part 1. So part 1 you can find on the channel itself, it is done. Part 1 of this was done last week, okay, and you can certainly find it in the live videos which have already been conducted. So this is certainly the continuation of that. This is certainly the part 2 as it should be. So it is definitely going to add a lot of value to your preparation without any doubt. It will certainly be adding a lot of value to your overall preparation like always. Now before I start this very class, I would like to ask you that is there any specific challenge you're finding when you're preparing? Is there any specific challenge you would like to discuss, or is there anything which you would like to tell me that you should be helped in that direction, because I'll certainly be doing that. कोई भी अगर ऐसी चीज है where you find a bit of a problem, you can certainly let me know. Clear है? So I am hopeful that you should all be on the right path of preparation, because that is certainly very much important. Chalo, anyways, having said that, let me put one thing into very much clear perspective, that whenever you study any new topic, I would always suggest you guys to be making proper notes out of it. ये बहुत important है. If you make proper notes out of any topic, you will realize that it is very easy for you to retain it in the future. But unfortunately, if you don't make proper notes, then what will happen? It will be very much volatile. It will all be, going off the roof. It will all be evaporating in your mind. So certainly, it is very, very important to make proper notes out of it. On regular basis, you got to make notes, and this is what I would be making a suggestion to you, that you should always try to make proper notes of a particular topic. Clear है? So I am hopeful that I am making some basic aspects very much clear in front of all of you. Well, these are very basic things actually which I expect you guys to be knowing. So मुझे ये comment करके बताओ that have you seen previous lectures? Have you watched previous lectures or not? Just tell me this thing first of all. How many of you have watched the previous lectures before? ठीक है? नहीं देखे? देखे? चलो, that's good. So are you having any specific suggestions that this is a particular topic you want a class on, or you certainly would want something specific which we may not be providing as of now? So is there anything in your mind? So please be very much clear with that. Don't hesitate at all, and we'll try to make sure that we provide you with that particular topic very much soon. Because ultimately, see, what is our main aim? Our main aim is to help you guys prepare diligently for the examination, and for that, in case there is anything you want specifically, so we would be more than happy to provide you with that. उसमें तो कोई दिक्कत है नहीं. ठीक है? So we certainly can provide you with anything which is important from examination point of view. Chalo. So I am hopeful that we are all on the same page, and on this very note, we'll be starting the class. Okay. Before I even start the class, please make sure that you all are sharing the session with your friends so that they may also be in a position to take full advantage of the session. Everyone. ठीक है? Session इससे पहले कि हम शुरू करें, make sure you are all sharing it with all your friends. Okay. ठीक है जी. So all good, all clear. हाँ जी, welcome Manav. I can certainly read your comments. Anybody else, you can let me know in the comment section that you have joined the session, like marking your presence. ठीक है, वैसे तो I can see all your you guys are sitting live in the class, which is a great thing. So anyways, without further ado, I'll be starting the session. But before we start, let me tell you one thing, that we already have covered some aspects of revolts, right? All the important revolts, we have covered some of them. So you should be aware of this fact, everyone. So as I've already told you that in the part 1 of it, we have covered last week some revolts, and in this part 2 we'll be doing more of them. That is what the idea is. ठीक है ना? So last class में भी हमने किया था. So that's how it is. So I am hopeful of this thing that we are all on the same page in that. Okay. One thing which is more important is that you always have to keep your josh high. Why? Because whenever we read about any particular topic for that matter, you got to be understanding one thing at least, that any topic can be mastered by you given that you are giving it enough time to understand. Because if we are not giving a particular topic enough time, then what will happen? We will not be in a position to do well in that, as simple as that. So try to make sure of this thing, that whatever you're studying in a manner in which it is ingrained in your mind, which is important. ये बहुत important है. ठीक है, because I'll be every now and then I'll be conducting a lot of sessions. That is not the issue, but the issue is कि are you up for that? Are you guys up for those sessions? That is very very important point. So ये थोड़ा सा ध्यान में रखना. And so I am hopeful that you will be very much diligent in that regards. Okay जी, clear है? So shall we start? Do let me in the comment section how's the Josh, guys. I hope the Josh is high. ठीक है ना? So Josh अपना high रखना है, because only then you will be in a position to learn as much as possible. ये एक important चीज़ है which I would like to suggest you guys every time. चलो. Now, when I start, I would like to start with a revolt. Very important. It is of Singpo's revolt or Singpo's rebellion. In the last class, we did Sannyasi, Fakir, Veluthampi's revolt. All these revolts we did. So, any idea about the Singpos? Now, whenever I talk about the Singpos, have you ever heard about the Singpos? Okay, you know this thing at least, that whenever we are talking of a particular revolt, for that matter, what all are the things we are supposed to know? What all are the things we are supposed to notice? This is something you know or not? ये तो पता है ना? We are supposed to know some basic things. But what are those basic things? That is a complicated matter, right? So I would certainly be making sure that you are aware of that fact. So okay, tell me. Whenever I am talking of this thing, swing pose, or any revolt for that matter, what all are the things you got to focus upon is something we have to notice. Okay. So like we talked about, you have to know who was the leader, where it took place, when it took place, some important facts about it. यही जानना होगा ना. This is what you need to know. So that's not difficult. So ultimately, we are supposed to have a clear cut and basic idea about this thing. Any revolt for that matter, we need to know these basic aspects out of it. As simple as that. हाँ जी, आया समझ में कि नहीं? This is as simple as that, and I am sure that you are aware of this very point clearly. ठीक है जी? अब आप खुद notice करोगे ये चीज़ें, that whenever you have studied these things even for once, then you will be in a position to recall that in the examination, because once you have read these things, so you will be in a position to have a clear cut understanding. As simple as that. So game तो देखो understanding की ही है exam में. So in exam, going by the previous patterns, we have observed that these are the things which they ask on regular basis. They are basically asking these points on regular basis. ये बहुत ज़्यादा एक important idea है. So please be clear about this thing. ठीक है जी? Okay. Is that sorted? Very good. यहाँ तक बेटे कोई भी डाउट है तो प्लीज डू लेट मी नो. In case you guys have any doubt for that matter, you can surely let me know. Clear है? Okay, बहुत बढ़िया. Shall we move ahead? जी. Okay. Moving ahead. Now remember, when we talk about the Singpos are active in the northeast. See, British were engaged in harassing warfare with the Khasis. Khasis are in the Meghalaya, and Singpos are breaking out in rebellion in early 1830s. So 1830s mein it is there. And you have to understand this thing, that ultimately in 1830s they are rising. But the most important thing is, who is their chief? So chief is Nirang Fidu. So Nirang Fidu is what? Is the leader. He attacked the British garrison. And you have to understand this thing, that in the Assam area, they are very much active. Singpos are very much active in which area? In the area of Assam. This is one point we have to understand. जी, समझ आया सबको? So I am at least hopeful of this thing, that यहाँ पे तो कोई डाउट नहीं होगा ना कि when it is happening and मतलब how do we look at it, everything is crystal clear to you guys. जी, good job. Because I'll tell you something, and which is certainly very much important, that once you have a clear cut understanding on these things, right, so automatically आपको सारी चीजें क्लियर हो ही जाएंगी, है ना? मतलब at times what happens is we don't have basic level of understanding, so वहीं पे फंसते हो आप. So once you have that basic level of understanding, then in examination, if a particular question comes, so you will be in a position to have a clear cut idea. ये important है. Getting it? So what is more important? Keep that in your mind, that what certainly is the most important thing of all. Whenever you are looking at the aspects, you have to be very clear that in any particular revolt, so I would like to repeat that particular thing, in any particular revolt or uprising against the British, what are the things you got to look into? You got to look into when. When means in which time period it is happening. In which time period it is happening. Secondly, what do you look at? Who? Who means who is leading that? Who is the leader? Third thing is where. Where means in which region it is taking place. Is that clear? So you are supposed to be clear about when it is taking place, who is leading, and where it is taking place. These are some important aspects you got to be focusing upon. These are the important dimensions you need to be focusing on, a very basic idea. You got to be clear. आ रहा है समझ में? I hope now it's clear. ठीक है. Please do let me know if this idea is clear or not. यहाँ पे I am sure that this idea is very clear to you guys. So I would request you guys to be commenting and letting me know if you are able to make some clarity on that. Clear हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है ये मुझे बता दो. मतलब every aspect has to be 100% clear to you guys. Simple and straightforward point. Hello Shahida. So everyone, do let me know comments. Let's keep the comment section very much active. Because if the comment section is active, I'll get to know that you are understanding things. Thank you Manav, thank you Shahida, everyone. So any revolt for that matter you have to focus. So here what do you see? Nirang Fidu is the chief or the leader. When it is taking place, 1830s it is taking place. Where it is taking place? In the Assam area in the northeast. And what is the name? That is Singpos. Simple point. The name is Singpos. As simple as that. So ultimately, for that matter, you are supposed to be having a clear-cut understanding of these things. ये बहुत ज़्यादा important है जी. And trust me, once you read these things inside out, then you are hardly going to have any doubt for that matter. You will certainly be very much clear in that direction. So you may have some doubts in the beginning, but ultimately you are going to have a wonderful understanding later on. So this is how it goes. Okay. Now moving ahead, I would like to talk about Khasis. Khasi uprising, it's very much important. Khasi. Now, have you heard about hills of Meghalaya? Garo, Khasi, Jaintia. We've got 3 hills in Meghalaya. So if you clearly put it in that ways, so Meghalaya, which is in the northeastern part of India, there we have the Khasi hills. There we have the Khasi hills. So what are you expected to know? You are expected to know that, yeah, we have to be very much clear in this regards that, whenever we talk about the Khasis, they have to be active in Meghalaya only. Well, this is but obvious. If they are active in Meghalaya, so when are they active? That is the next question. है कि नहीं? Bhai, when are they active? So step by step, you are just supposed to ask these questions. Step by step, you are basically supposed to ask these questions and you will be good to go. कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं है. Because ultimately, I'll tell you something, what is more important? Only one thing is more important, and that is your clarity. Your clarity has to be 100% thorough. हाँ जी. बेटे, it is a bilingual class. Usually it's an English medium only. मैं हिंदी में भी समझा दूंगा, आपको कहीं पे भी डाउट आता है तो वो हम कर लेंगे, कोई ऐसी बात नहीं है, ठीक है. बट अभी के लिए मैं बस इतना आपको बता सकता हूँ कि आप अंडरस्टैंडिंग पर ध्यान दें. आप अंडरस्टैंडिंग पर यहाँ पर ध्यान दें, वो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है जी. क्लियर हुआ? चलो जी. आई एम होपफुल कि भाई यहाँ तक तो एज सच कोई डाउट होगा नहीं, सबको समझ आ ही गया होगा यहाँ तक तो बेसिक पॉइंट्स जो हैं जी. क्लियर हुआ? जहाँ पे भी आप फंसते हो, जहाँ पे भी आपको लगता है कि सर ये चीज़ समझ में नहीं आई, तो मुझे बता सकते हैं. यू कैन सर्टनली लेट मी नो, दैट्स नॉट एन इशू. ठीक है, आप बताएंगे तो मैं वहाँ पे वो क्लियर कर दूंगा डाउट. सो आप निश्चिंत रहें. अभी के लिए आपको सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक चीज़ पे ध्यान देना है कि आप अपने अंडरस्टैंडिंग को अच्छा रखें. मैं वही चीज़ चाहूँगा आप सबसे. कीप योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग वेरी मच एक्टिव. चलो, moving ahead. Got it? So when we talk about the Khasis, we all know that Khasis are active where? In Meghalaya. That's the thing. So you have to understand this thing, that we have a chief leadership of Tirut Singh. So ये बहुत important है. So Khasis are being led by whom? It is the Tirut Singh who is the leader. Okay. And what we see, it is in 1820s and 1830s, they are active in the 19th century. Where they are active in Meghalaya? As simple as that. So you all know that, Garo, Jaintia hills के बीच में जो area है, that is the Khasis. And ultimately, what is more important is that British occupied the hilly region in intention of building a road linking Brahmaputra Valley with the Sylhet Pass. Now you have to understand this thing, कि laborers were used and they are revolting against whom? Against the British. Later Garos also joined them, but they were suppressed. So you have to understand that what was happening over here. What is the main cause? If I look at the main cause is, bete, tell me, what is the main cause? The main cause is exploitation at the hand of the British, as simple as that. The main cause is exploitation at the hands of British. In fact, that was the main cause everywhere for that matter. But here again, it is the main cause and we have to be looking at that precisely. I hope it's clear. आया समझ में? So मतलब again, this is not something which is very much, difficult for you to uh, understand. It's very much easy, but you have to be understanding this point very, very precisely, and that's the point we need to be looking at. समझ आ रहा है? So I'm just trying to make things very much easy for you, because what I feel is that only and only if you have this clarity of things, you will be in a position to, understand, because understanding is a thing which is not that easy. So ये थोड़ा सा एक मतलब aspect है which we need to be looking at precisely. चलो जी, आ रहा है समझ में सबको? ठीक है, crystal clear है. Now moving ahead, bete, I would like to talk about Khonds. Khonds uprising. Now when I say Khonds, this is India, okay, peninsular India. If you look at eastern part of India, from West Bengal till here to Tamil Nadu, this is the eastern coast of India, this is Sri Lanka. So here you will see on the coastal areas, bete, we have the presence of Khonds. Different areas, we have the presence of Khonds. Simple point. So what are we looking at? That Khond tribes are basically, in Odisha and various different areas, in some stretches we have, and they are living in the coastal areas only. So the problem is that the Khonds have some cultural practices. There are some cultural practices. Kiski? Khonds. Now what cultural practices I'm talking about? There are some practices which were not acceptable to the British. British were against those practices. Now think about the practices which they had. When we say the kind of practices they have, they are having, the practices which are like, if you talk about, human sacrifice. Now what is human sacrifice? मतलब जैसे हम कहते हैं ना हिंदी में बलि देना. तो you have to be very clear in this regards that these were the kind of the activities they were indulging in, and they were the long continuing practices they had, and this was the main reason when we look at this particular aspect, that they are being stopped by the British from indulging in those practices. British कहते हैं कि you are not supposed to do these practices, and this is when they are now raising their voice against the British. Understanding? So what is the reason? So British are trying to stop the practices कि this is inhuman, this is not good practice, but then they are raising their voice against the British, and this is something we have to be noticing. So ये बहुत important point है. So whenever we talk about the Khonds, where are Khonds located, and what is the main cause? This is very much important. Of course, we'll be looking at the other aspects also. Who is leading them, and how exactly they are being suppressed, how they are raising their voice. Everything we'll be talking. It was a bit of violent revolt. In fact, whenever the tribals used to attack the British, it used to be violent. They used to resort to use of the weapons, traditional weapons, जो agricultural weapon and all. So this is what they used, and this was quite interesting to see. ये आप ध्यान में रखना. समझ आ रहा है इतना? So what I am hopeful is that you are at least trying making some sense out of these things, whatever we are talking about, because ultimately this is what you need to be focusing upon in the examination also. Whenever a question comes, so you need to have a at least basic idea of these things, because in the mains also this question can come. In the prelims to exam mein question will come only, and prelims mein chalo you will find a factual question, but in the mains you will find a bit of a analytical question. So you need to be in a position to answer that also. You should be in a position to answer that as well. So ये थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखना. Got it? So what I mean to tell you is, when we talk about the Khonds, we are seeing a proper uprising in 1830s to 1850s. And who is the leader? Leader is Chakka Bishoy. So Chakka Bishoy or Chakra Bishoy is the leader. What is the time period? 1830s to 1850s. And main issue was that government had suppressed human sacrifice, that is Maria. You know Maria? So Maria means human sacrifice. So basically now they are attacking them. In fact, there were a lot of outsiders also in their area. They did not like them. So they are using tangis, basically, different battle axe they are using. Later on, Chakka Bishoy disappeared after 1855, and this led to the movement being suppressed. So this is important, that when it is taking place, who is leading, where it is taking place, and why it is taking place is very much interesting. I hope it's clear. So again, this is a very simple and straightforward point which we need to be, having a basic idea about. And if we have had a simple clarity on this thing, so we are good to go. कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं है जी. आया समझ में? क्लियर है? बहुत बढ़िया. Perfect. So, I'll tell you something. Whenever we are talking of different aspects about any revolt, we are just concerned about these aspects only. These are the basic aspects we are supposed to know, we are supposed to be concerned of, and anything and everything else is peripheral. Getting it? Peripheral means not so important. So we are supposed to be focusing on these practical things, important things we have to be focusing upon, and that will solve the purpose. Simple है जी ये. चलो, आया क्लियर हुआ सबको? कोई अगर कुछ कहीं पे फंसते हो आप, if there is anything which you think it's not easy for you to understand or comprehend, you are free to let me know. Simple है. चलो. So moving ahead, do let me in the comment section if you are finding the session useful. Next, I would like to talk about coal uprising. कौन सी uprising? These are important. In 1830s we have seen the coal uprising. Now, again, the idea is that whenever we talk about the coal, where are they so much active? ये important है. मतलब active कहाँ पे हैं? You have to know about this thing. So anyone, coal uprising, if I talk about, where are they active? This is something which we have to be knowing, certainly. So you just have to pick this particular thing in your mind, that these coals are also active in the eastern part of India. Eastern India. In Eastern India, we are seeing the coals are very much active. That's one thing. And secondly, you also have to understand one aspect, and that is that whenever you look at the coals, in the first place, you have to have a basic idea about when it is taking place. This is also important. We kab hui hai. This is one aspect we need to be, knowing, we need to be clear about. So when we talk about the coals, you got to understand that they are active in the Chota Nagpur Plateau, Jharkhand area, Ranchi, Singhbhum, Hazaribagh, all this area, and they are basically very much active in 1830s. Buddho Bhagat is the leader. So my point is that where are they active? This is the answer. When are they active? This is the answer. And who is leading? This is the answer. He is the leader. So you got to understand this thing, that they are, basically tribals people will be always against the outsiders. A person who is coming from the outside, he may or may not have a tendency of exploiting. But what will happen is that the moment they see anybody coming from outside, they will think that that person is an exploitator. And the moment they think that ways, they are always going to repel. They're always going to retaliate. I hope you're understanding. So whenever an outsider is coming, this is a basic point tribals will have in mind, that they may be against their customs, basic customs. So we are supposed to have this particular understanding, that how are we going to go about it. बहुत important है. So whenever a revolt like this is taking place, so this is how we look at that particular revolt. ये आप ध्यान में रखना. I am hopeful that this aspect is absolutely clear to you guys. आ रहा है समझ के नहीं आ रहा है? Simple points हैं. In fact, some tribals used to call outsiders as dikus. Dikus means outsiders. So they used to retaliate. When I talk about the Santhals, when I talk about the Mundas, when I talk about the Kols, so you got to understand this thing, कि ये तो हमेशा ही होगा. मतलब this is always going to happen this ways. So मतलब this is a commonality. In fact, in all the tribal revolts I have witnessed, yeah, we see this commonality or there's a common aspect that this is how the tribals are looking at things, and only if we are clear on this particular focus, we have to have a clear cut understanding on thing. This is why we are talking about it in the first place. Chalo, clear hai ji? I am hopeful that now it is very much sorted. Got it? And moreover, once these ideas are clear, even in the examination, you are not going to find much of a problem. I can assure you, you won't be finding much of a problem. So, going ahead, now we talk about Munda Uprising. Very important. I will write over here. Very important, Munda Uprising. So, Munda Uprising is also known as Munda Ulugulan. So, what is Ulugulan? That is also uprising only. Ulugulan is also uprising, so you don't need to worry in that respect. Got it. Having said that, so remember a simple point which certainly is important, that who are Mundas, you must have heard about Birsa Munda. So when I talk about Mundas, so you have to be very clear that they are the tribals. Present day Jharkhand, you must have heard about the Arjun Munda. He was a politician from Jharkhand, so that's a Munda tribe. So basically these Mundas, they are coming from where? Jharkhand. And these Mundas basically, this particular tribal group, it was being led by a youngster, a very young guy with the name of Birsa Munda. There's also airport named on his name. So you got to understand, a very phenomenal leader he is. Name is Birsa Munda, and you got to be understanding this point, that whenever we are talking of Birsa Munda, what exactly comes to our mind? Think about it. हमारे mind में क्या आता है? A charismatic leader. Why? Because he is someone who put his community ahead of everything else. And what is his idea? His idea is not just against the British, no. His idea is against anyone who is coming from the outside and trying to exploit the tribals. So when I say exploit the tribals, it means, it may be money lender. कोई पैसे ब्याज पे देने आ गया. So what will money lender do? Money lender will certainly be exploiting, he will give money on high interest, and then they will not be able to pay back, and that becomes a bit of a problem. So you are supposed to understand this thing, that Birsa Munda is raising his voice against anybody who is coming from the outside. Dikus, basically. So they are in a way retaliating against the Dikus. So now I think Dikus wala idea is very much clear to you guys, that who are Dikus in the first place? Who exactly are Dikus in the first place is very much important. हाँ जी, क्लियर हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ ये मुझे बता दो. सॉर्टेड है एवरीवन? ठीक है. क्योंकि ये बहुत सिंपल पॉइंट्स हैं. So remember, they used to call the outsiders as Diku. Outsiders means British. Outsiders means any Christian missionaries, missionaries converting people. Outsiders means money lenders, or anybody who is trying to encroach on the forest. So ये बहुत important है. तो आपको मतलब ये आइडिया होना चाहिए, मतलब this is a point which we have to be understanding very precisely, that any and every outsider is seen with a sense of suspicion by them. ये बहुत important है. कहीं ना कहीं मतलब ये बहुत एक important चीज़ है जो कि आपको ध्यान में रखनी है. This is one very much important thing which we have to be understanding and precisely keeping in our minds. ठीक है. So I am certainly hopeful of this thing, that till here everything is absolutely clear. यहाँ पे तो कोई डाउट नहीं है जी. समझ आया? ठीक है. So whenever we talk with the Birsa Munda, where is active? It is in Jharkhand area of India, of course. That's one thing. When he is active, it is basically 1890s. He is very much active. Where, who, when, and they are targeting whom? They are targeting the Dikkus, that is the outsiders. But this is the kind of the question at times is asked, you know, who were Dikkus? According to them, who were Dikkus? So I think now you'll be in a position to understand at least Dikkus hain kaun. That is one point you got to be keeping in your mind precisely. ये बहुत important चीज़ है. मतलब these are very much important things which you have to be understanding. Clear है जी? So I तो always try to do one thing only, that you study a lot of things which is great, but if and when you are not revising those things, then studying is not making much of a value because we tend to forget things. ये आप याद रखो. Yeah. So we have to be, you know, understanding these aspects very, very clearly. Simple and straightforward point this is. ठीक है. क्लियर हुआ सबको? चलो, that's good. And see, why in the first place are we having this class? We are having this class just because ultimately, this is the kind of the class which will give you a basic clarity on what are you supposed to read in such topics. You know, whenever you're studying this very topic, what are you supposed to read, you know, how you're supposed to read. These are the things we have to be understanding. है ना, तभी clarity मिलेगी. So ये important. This is quite important. Clear? Moving ahead. Good job. Any specific doubts in case you guys have? हाँ जी, हाँ जी. एक मिनट. ये क्लियर है? Okay, moving ahead. Now we talk about Santhals. Again, you know, when we talk about the Santhals, Santhal rebellion, it is in 1850s they're active. And you got to understand this thing, that continued operation of the Santhals, which was the agricultural people, you know, and you have to understand this thing, that we have moneylenders who had support of the police. So here we are seeing two leaders are coming ahead. These are leaders in the form of Sidhu and Kanu. These are two brothers. So this is active again in the eastern part of India. And you got to understand that this was violently suppressed by the British, no doubt about it. But at least they tried. At least they tried. समझ आया? Simple. Okay. Clear है? Now let's talk about a very important revolt which we need to be understanding, and that is the Indigo Revolt. Indigo Revolt की बात करते हैं. Okay. When we talk about the Indigo Revolt, which is a very important revolt, where it took place in Bengal, around 1859, we see the revolt taking place. And this is a very interesting revolt in the first place. We'll talk about why. It's a very interesting revolt. Indigo Revolt. Now, why it is taking place, let's try to understand first of all why. We have various indigo peasants who are working on the field growing indigo. What is indigo? Indigo means Neil. You know Neil? Neil is a dye for the clothes. It was in high demand in the British sector, European industry and everywhere. But the indigo peasants were forced to grow indigo. They were forced to grow indigo. That's a big problem. Now, if you are forced to grow a particular thing, what will happen? This means you are not happy to grow that. Why you are not happy to grow that? Why were people not happy to grow it? Tell me. Because see, when you grow indigo, indigo cultivation is not good for soil. Not good for your soil. It will make your soil barren. That was the biggest problem. Now, what will happen? What we are looking at is it is going to make your soil barren. And this is what the problem was. So, when it is taking place in 1850s, 1859 in Bengal area, peasants were being forced to grow indigo by the British. So, what happened was here, two main leaders came ahead. Two main leaders came. Now, who are these leaders? Leaders in the form Vishnu Chandra Biswas and Digambar Biswas. Yeah. They are leading the rebellion against the planters. It spread readily, and a lot of indigo planters were also attacked. Indigo depots were burned. Many planters fled the scene. So basically, this revolt was a big revolt. Where it took place in Bengal, when it took place in 1859. In fact, it was such a big revolt that a proper play was written on that. A proper play, natak, drama, play or drama was written on this. What is the name of the drama? It is Neel Darpan. Neel Darpan is the name, and it was written by Deen Bandhu Mitra. Remember, this is important for examination point of view. Deen Bandhu Mitra wrote that. So this is quite interesting that Neel Darpan, which is a play, it has been written by Deen Bandhu Mitra in Bengali. It was on Indigo Revolt. So proper play has been written on Indigo Revolt. That is what makes Indigo Revolt even more important. It was written later on, but it was important. So anyways, now you know why it is taking place, where it is taking place, when it is taking place, who are the leaders. Now what is interesting about this revolt is that when this revolt took place, it got a firm support from where? From various lawyers, advocates of Bengal, even a lot of literate people, educated people, they did support this revolt. When they supported the revolt, what will happen? When they supported the revolt, the Kisan, the peasants, decided to go into the court. And when the oppressed people are going to court, they are going to the route of courts, legal courts. And ultimately, we saw a proper commission was established, and this is known as Indigo Commission of 1860. Now, what is Indigo Commission doing? What is Indigo Commission doing? Indigo Commission is finally talking of this particular aspect. समझ आया कि नहीं आया ये बता दो. E.W.L. Tarr wrote in his report, not a single chest as in box, of indigo reached England without being stained in the human blood. So they recognized that what was happening in Bengal was bad, and they even stopped this. The indigo cultivation which was being forced, it was genuinely stopped later on, which is a point to be noted. Everyone, समझ आ रहा है इतना? Everyone is able to understand these things or not? Thank you, Tarun, Raju. ठीक है सबको. So when it is taking place, where it is taking place, everything is absolutely clear to you guys, I hope. That is the way you got to be going upon this thing, that's the way to move ahead. Good job. So कोई भी अगर doubt है, any doubt for that matter you guys have, you surely can let me know. Because I'll tell you something, these are the things which are being asked again and again in the exam. You know that, you're good to go. You don't know that, दिक्कत होगी. Clear? Chale. Now, I would like to talk one more revolt. That's a bit strange. That it is known as riots. Known as riots. We'll talk about that. It goes by the name of Deccan Riots. Deccan Riots. Simple. Got it. So, where is Deccan Riot taking place? So, I'm just making a rough map of India. Okay. If we talk about this area, this is Deccan, Maharashtra, this area, Ahmednagar, Pune. So, this area, which is basically Deccan, here it is taking place. When? In 1870s. 1870s it is taking place. Now, why it is taking place is quite interesting. Remember that what happened was during, ध्यान से सुनना, during 1860s in USA we have a civil war, okay, American Civil War. Because of that, USA की जो cotton supply थी to the world, it dipped. Cotton supply dipped, ये कम हो गई. When the cotton supply dipped, what will happen? When the cotton supply will dip, what will happen? Cotton price shot up. Cotton price start going up. And in India, the farmers, cotton farmers, they took loans. They took big loans from the money lenders, thinking that we will pay back. But unfortunately, in 1870s, when the cotton prices again dipped, what will happen? When the cotton prices dip, what exactly is going to be happening? Think about it. कुछ तो होगा, क्या होगा? When the cotton prices are going down, we have a conflict between farmers and money lenders. So basically, this conflict between farmers and money lenders is known as Deccan Riots. समझ आया? What is Deccan Riots? Clear? So 1870s में it is taking place. I hope it's absolutely very much clear. That is the Deccan Riot, and ultimately, following the Deccan Riot, we have a Deccan Riot committee. Government investigated, and commission basically saw a lot of evidences also. So they said ultimately it was due to the money lenders that this has taken place. Argument is very much clear over there by the government that money lenders should not be forcing peasants. So in fact, in 1879, Agriculture Relief Act was passed, which ensured that farmers could not be arrested or imprisonment should be there if they are unable to pay their dues. Even if they are not able to pay their dues, they should not be imprisoned. समझ आया कि नहीं आया? Interesting points. So what my idea is that you are supposed to be, clear about these basic points, because only then you're in a position to have a wonderful understanding. ये थोड़ा सा याद रखना. Are you ready for a small quiz, everyone? Are you up for that? Yes or no? Are you up for a small quiz or not? करना है quiz? ठीक है, चलो करते हैं फिर. Let's do it. Now, whenever we look at different perspectives, certainly one thing which we need to be looking at is that quiz is very much important. Unfortunately, students study a lot, but they don't do quiz, and if you are not doing the quiz ना, so you don't know that how much you have learnt. ये बहुत important चीज़ है. In order to make sure that you have learned things in a nice manner, you have to be understanding things precisely. ये important है. So we'll try to make sure that we are decoding that precisely. Okay. Let's do it then. ठीक. It's quiz time. First question goes in your front screen. It says, कहता है a novel by Bankim Chattopadhyay on sannyasi revolt was dash. Mainly focused on sannyasi revolt, which was that. Think about it. So now this is the way we have to be knowing things. शाबाश, सोच के बताओ. Which one are we talking about? क्लियर है? अब देखो एक चीज आप नोटिस करना है यहाँ पे, that till here whatever we have studied, ठीक है, we have studied in a very proper manner, but again if you're not able to answer this question, this means कि थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे understanding में doubt है. So you are free to ask any doubt for that matter, but make sure that you answer these questions. So a lot of people are saying Devi Chaudhary. See, Devi Chaudhary is focusing on the women participation of Sannyasi Revolt, no doubt about that. But what about the Anand Math? Anand Math is a specific novel which has been dedicated to this revolt, bete. Don't you think that that should be the right answer? Think about that. What I am trying to say is that we have got a proper novel dedicated. So I think that it has to be the right answer or not? होना चाहिए. So this is the idea which we need to be looking at. Got it? So I hope my point is absolutely clear that why I am saying that. जी. Clear हुआ? What I am trying to tell you, I hope it's absolutely clear. Okay, so my idea is very simple and straightforward, that we at least have to understand the nitty-gritties, and only then we would be in a position to have some conclusion or answer to that question. So I hope now you know that why I am saying this thing. मतलब मैंने ये चीज़ क्यों बोली है, ये आपको समझ आया कि नहीं आया, ये मुझे honestly बता दो आप, so that we can go ahead with that. So Anand Math I'll be going with. No doubt Devi Chaudhary is women participation बात करते हैं, but properly on sannyasi revolt. So in exam you won't be getting these both the options in the same question, but हाँ, I would be going with Anand Math. Can you tell me a song which we find in Anand Math novel? In Anand Math we also have a great song. So which song am I talking about? बताओ. 1882 में in Anand Math, you know, we are finding a beautiful song. It is Vande Mataram, national song of the country, national song of India. It's Vande Mataram. So yeah, we need to understand that also. Simple point है जी. So see, my idea is very clear that whenever you talk about a question, you talk in inside out. No, ये important है. Moving ahead. Okay. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the Indigo Revolt of 1859? ये बताओ जरा. Which is correct regarding this revolt? That is my question. Very good. अब देखो ना, ये तो सिंपल एंड स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड पॉइंट है, इसमें तो कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं है किसी को. शाबाश. So I'm hopeful of this thing कि एटलीस्ट इसमें अब कोई प्रॉब्लम आपको नहीं होगी. In order to answer this question, this is going to be super easy. ये क्लियर है? Now think about this question in that sense. Firstly, what are the options saying? Let's talk about them. It increased land revenue. No, that was not an issue. It was limited to Bihar only. No, it was limited. In fact, Bengal आना चाहिए था. Bengal. Intelligentsia did not support. Very wrong. Intelligentsia did support, bete. Intelligence did support. So which is correct statement? It is, this statement is correct. That is, Digambar Biswas Vishwanath were the prominent leaders of the revolt. Don't you think B has to be the right answer? Batao zara. Don't you think that B has to be absolutely correct answer? Ab, again, what I talk about is that these are the kind of questions which needs some sense of clarity, and only if you have that sense of clarity, you are going to be answering this question as simple as that. ये मैं point आपको बताना चाह रहा था. I hope I've made myself very much clear. ठीक है जी, ये मतलब बहुत simple point है, and we have to have a good level of understanding on these points. Okay, anyways, moving ahead, next पे चलें. ये देखो, this is the answer ना. You have to arrange them in a chronological order. This is the last one for the day. So, Sannyasi, Ahom, Velour, Indigo. These are the options. You want to answer that. Batao. How can you answer this question? Tell me. शाबाश, ये तो easy है. बताओ. You tell me this thing. Which was the first prominent one? It was Sannyasi rebellion. So one first पे आएगा. So if one is on the first, what is going to be the right answer? ये बताओ पहले तुम मुझे. कौन सा आएगा? It has to be, you know, one पहले आगे सब कट गए. So 1, 3, 2, 4 आएगा कि नहीं? B is the right answer, as simple as that. B is going to be the right answer, na? How difficult it is, you tell me. So this is how we look at it. So I'm hopeful that now these aspects are going to be absolutely clear to you guys. Do subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet. Do share it with your friends if you find it useful. And I hope you have found this class, you know, good. If you have found this class, you know, useful for your preparation. So that is what I would be expecting. So remember that Sannyasi rebellion in 18th century it is, Ahom revolt 1820s, Velour 1806, Indigo in 1859. So you can easily answer this question here. You can easily answer this question. So do subscribe to the channel, that's very much important. Subscribe to the channel and do hit the like button if you found this useful. And I am hopeful that you are going to be coming at 12 PM live in these sessions. 12 baje live zarur aayega in sessions. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much.